guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Monday. It's time for a 5x5. This is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject and then I move on to the next subject. It's always quick, it's always snappy. You never know what you're gonna get. And today I'm back with one of my favorite things that I do on a 5x5, which is a performer spotlight special. Now this is where I talk about a particular performer. I show some performance footage of them performing and I talk about what we can learn from watching those performances. And today I'm going to be talking about Erik Tait. Now a couple of weeks ago on Magic TV, I did one of these on Nick Lacapo, who is an incredible magician. Well, Nick and Erik, between them, are pretty much the faces of Penguin Magic, and a lot of the time, if you see their social media or you see products coming out, they will be involved in it. Both of them incredible magicians in their own right, but both of them very, very different. If you go back and look at the 5x5 I did on Nick, he has a wonderful use of musicality and it's almost very theatrical and beautiful magic. Now, Erik is, I personally think Erik is one of the, if not the best card magicians in the world. Having sat down with him in a bar and watched him perform card magic over and over again to real people, I can tell you right now, he is incredible. I'm sure I heard the story somewhere that Erik is one of the only people that Leonard Green was happy to help teach all of his material on incredibly difficult card sleights. But unlike a lot of cardicians, you see a lot of people that are really expert at card magic and they're not entertaining at all. Erik is also very, very funny. I've seen Erik perform on stage many, many times and I have always just laughed my ass off. He's very funny, he's very dry. He's so talented in so many different ways, not just as a stage performer, but as a close-up performer. And I'll say the same thing about Erik that I said about Nick. One of the reasons that Erik is so good is because he has to learn so much magic. You know, when part of his role at Penguin Magic is to work with artists and learn the tricks that they bring in and perform them in many cases. So he has to take tricks that aren't even his tricks, learn them, go out and perform them to a level that he's getting really good reactions, good enough for a trailer. And he has to do that over and over again. And yet he still finds time to create his own magic. He still finds time to go out and perform very, very regularly. In fact, when you think about Erik Tait, you think flight time. Whenever I speak to Erik, and I speak to him an awful lot, he's either catching a flight somewhere to do a show, he's in the middle of a run of shows somewhere, he's just come back from doing a show, he's running through one airport or another airport. The guy has so much experience. I know from speaking to him and interviewing him in the past, he's got a lot of experience at doing stand-up comedy, and that shows and comes through in his work. In fact, if you haven't watched the interview that I did with Erik a couple of years ago, please go and watch it because it just shows how much versatility this man has. Well, what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to show you 5 performances from Erik, 5 tricks that you're going to see a full performance of, and then when you've seen this performance, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to talk more importantly about what we can learn from those performances. And the first performance we're going to be looking at is Erik's FISM act. If you don't know, a couple of years ago, Erik was, he actually got himself into a position where he competed and represented the USA at FISM. And not only that, he came 3rd. That is a remarkable accomplishment. If you haven't seen Erik's FISM act, it is brilliant. And you're going to see it right now. So let's start off with the first video, which is Erik's FISM act.
Hi, your name is? Nina, and you are? Sean. Excellent. Nina, do me a favor. Open up that deck of cards. Go ahead. We bought it in the dealer's room about an hour ago because I thought it was kind of pretty. Take the cellophane all the way off, and then they tend to seal those things with a little sticker right there. I'm going to take that from you because I got a pocket knife. Yeah, you can take it all the way off. And I'm just going to open it for you for safety reasons here. Perfect. You go ahead and finish opening that up and take all of the cards out of the box for me if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, and there's sometimes there's some weird cards on the top. Excellent. Let's take a look at what we we got that, and then we're gonna take off these and this and this and this. I want you to do me a favor, take about half the cards, give them to Sean over there, and I want you both to shuffle them until you're happy. Like with the mix, not existentially, we don't have that kind of time. But while you two do that, what nobody clap, that's not magic. Just keep on this cheap classes. Keep going. If you're uncomfortable, just run around a big scrum around the table if you want. Yeah, absolutely. That's magic. No, it's a bit. It's like you can't trust anyone at FISM. I'll take those when you're happy. This is so good. This is so good. Like that's fantastic. Let's talk about expectations. I think expectations are fascinating because when you meet someone for the very first time, you get just a little bit of information about them. You start to form some expectations. For example, people meet me, they find out I'm from Ohio, they assume that I'm a giant college football fan and that I live on a farm. The truth is I have a liberal arts degree and I'm afraid of cows. As a magician though, the expectation is somewhat different, right? I'm expected to be able to take a deck of cards that somebody else has shuffled and cut straight to an ace. But if the first ace is expected, then these three are a foregone conclusion. Thank you! Tell you what, Nina, here's what we're gonna do. The expectation is that I'm gonna be performing some magic this afternoon, but I actually find teaching to be a much more interesting endeavor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to steal money with playing cards, specifically from that guy. Are you on board? Excellent. We're not going to use the aces though. It takes a lifetime to learn. We got about 6 minutes left. We need something with a shorter learning to revenue ratio. So we're going to play 3-card Monte. You ever played 3-card Monte before? Oh yeah, you're going to love it, right? You're going to love it. You are going to hate it, okay? But it doesn't use the aces. It uses the 2 black 7s and the red queen, specifically the queen of diamonds. Could you go through the deck and find the 7 of clubs, the 7 of spades, and the queen of diamonds? 7 of clubs, 7 of spades, queen of diamonds. Some people will skinner around with the aces, but we're not going to do that today. By the way, if you're having any trouble finding them, that is because they are here in my hand. I know, I'm the worst. You know where the aces are? They're in the deck. Damn it. Yeah, I know. You don't have to look, just trust me. Go ahead, you know what, go ahead and keep these. You can go show your friends later. So the way this works is that these cards go face down like that, and then people mix them up, and then they bet money to see if they can figure out which one is the queen. And actually, I'm gonna teach you to play the game. I'm gonna teach you how to lose the game. So just, if we were betting, which one is the queen? Middle one? Excellent guess, right? So smart money's usually on the second one, right? Now the trouble with this game is that I have to say it in quotes because it's actually more of a scam or a con, like an M. Night Shyamalan film. And magicians have been studying this for years. They know all the little fancy bits that transform it from a game into a crime. And given where we are, there's a better than even chance that he's a magician. So you can still use this to steal money from a magician. You just have to play it with invisible cards. So you got 2 black 7s and the red queen, and you mix them. You know, you were never going to learn anything if I do all the work for you. So go ahead, get in there and mix those cards up.
How's that?
That was totes perf. Yeah, right. Now we need to get some skin in the game because on the streets we play for cash. So what I want you to do, bet him $20 that he can't find the queen.
I bet you $20 you can't find the queen.
You have $20.
No.
I'll spot you. Right? Now in a moment, you're going to have to make a decision. Position 1, position 2, or position 3. Wherever you say, she's going to place the bill. Between you and me, the smart money's always on position 2, and you look like a pretty smart guy. So wherever he says, place the bill. Sean, which one is the queen? Definitely 2. Go ahead, place it on 2. Excellent. That's so good. Sean, it's like you've played this game before, because if you look under the bill, there's a card, and it's the queen. That was amazing. You win. We're going to play best of 3. Okay, so you just lost me $20. What you did is good, right? It's called setting the hook. You see, he won a little bit of money, now he's gonna wanna win a little bit more, right? So we're gonna take this dude, we're gonna put this queen, we're gonna put it back down. Now what I need you to do is switch the 2 black 7s. Go ahead, switch the 2 black 7s. Dope. No one plays the stakes, so they bet him $50 you can't find the queen.
I bet you $50 you can't find the queen.
You have $50.
Not yet.
I will spot you. Yeah. You've seen this before. Sean, same deal as before. You have to make a decision. Position 1, the card you can see, or the other one, wherever he says you have to place the money. Now, I know you're in an awkward position. There's only one you can see, so we both know where you have to put the money, right? Excellent. Sean, which one's the queen? Position 2, go ahead and put it on position 2. Yeah, I understand why you'd say that. It is the only one you can see. Unfortunately for you, that's a black 7. Yeah, the smart money's under position 1. You should have put it there. That's the queen. Ha! Now your money belongs to us. So he's mad at you because you cheated him. Technically, I cheated you, but I don't think anyone in this room is keeping score today. You definitely stopped keeping score for that French guy. He was awesome. All right, now here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna go for all of the cash, okay? We're gonna take this queen, we're gonna put it back down like that. When you put it down very aggressively, so now there's a bend in the corner of the card. You don't say anything about that, right? He's gonna see it, he's gonna think he knows which one is which. The pros call this throwing the lug. Take this 7, put it back down. There's only 2 moves left, and I'm gonna make them for you because they're wicked tough. You ready?
Ready. Smooth.
Now we're gonna raise the stakes all the way up. Bet him $100 he can't find the queen.
I bet you $100 you can't find the queen.
I bet that you don't have $100.
Nope.
Spot. Sorry, I'm out. You have anything like an NFT or something?
I got this.
It's not a picture of a monkey in a boat. Tell you what, we'll go to my stash.
Very nice.
20, 40, 60, 80, $100. You don't have to put the money anywhere, just keep an eye on the cash because we might have to run. Sean, it's the moment. Nice work. Did you see what she did? While you were focused on the cash, she got in there and switched it, so now the red queen is right here next to my left hand. Stellar work. Sean, last chance. Which one's the queen? Ben Corner gets them every time. Weren't you paying attention? You see that right there? That's the red queen. You're very good at losing. You see this one and this one? You know what these are, right? They're the black 7s. Thank you so much. Sean, you were awesome. Nina,
Yes.
you are going to go home and you are going to play this game at home, right? But when you play this, remember, you might encounter a magician. But when you play this at home, you play it with invisible cards. Nina, that is for you. Sean, that is for you. My name is Erik Tait. You guys have been wicked. Thank you so much.
I've seen that act live. I've seen that act on TV. I've seen that act on social media. I've seen that act many, many times. And I never get bored of watching Erik perform, the Invisible Monty, perform his FISM act, however you want to call it. I never get bored of it. It is so entertaining. Now, if you don't know, the first time I saw Erik do this was in Penn and Teller. He went on Penn and Teller with this act and then obviously then went to FISM, and it's one of the routines that he has become known for. And this kind of, well, there's a couple of things that I want to point out about the actual performance that you just saw. And the first thing is, Erik Tait has balls of steel. Like, he has balls of steel, and it just shows, I get a lot of people on this channel all the time say, what do I need to do to win a competition? Well, you need to have balls of steel. This is a man who is performing and competing at FISM. I can only imagine the nerves that you've got performing at FISM, competing at FISM. That has to be one of the most nerve-wracking things I can imagine. Not only that, your spectator up on stage with you is Sean Farquhar, a guy who's won FISM more times than I can count. And he's doing the most incredible sleight of hand with cards you've ever seen. Like, I mean, it would be so much easier to not do some of the stuff that he's doing. But he's doing it because he understands, one, that you got to go big or go home. And two, he's rehearsed this to the nth degree. And I think that's the first thing you need to understand. You want to win a competition, you have to be prepared to do things that other people aren't going to do. You have to really bring your A game, and you have to rehearse again. You have to know that act inside out, back to front, upside down, and left way, sideways. But it has to be like, it doesn't have to look like it's rehearsed. You watch Erik perform this, and it doesn't look rehearsed. It doesn't look scripted. It looks like it's ad-libbed. It looks like it's just being made up on the fly. Whilst in reality, everything is planned down to the nth degree. And I think that's a very important thing to consider when you're entering a competition. The other important thing that you can see in this act is that, even though it's a very knuckle-busting style of routine, there's so many moments in there that are very funny. I want you to go back and watch this again. And what I want you to do is look at Erik's interactions with the volunteers that he has up on stage. Then go and look at this act that he did on FISM. Look at Erik Tait, Penn and Teller. Go and look at the act when he did it on Penn and Teller, and look at the interaction that he has with Alison Hannigan, with Penn and Teller. Look at the way he brings people into the act. That's a real skill. That's not something that you can just do immediately. You have to think through this. And I think the thing that a lot of people do when they're practicing and they're rehearsing, they think about the moves. Right, okay, so this card needs to go here. Then I need to do this. Now I need to do a shift here. Now I need to do this. But they forget about the really important stuff to rehearse. How am I going to bring my audience into this? How am I going to make this look more than magical masturbation? And you see him interacting with these various different people when he's performing, and you see the little moments like when he's got the hidden stash in his beard. You see all of this and you realize, wow, okay, this guy just knows what he's doing inside out, back to front, and upside down. This video, above and beyond all other videos you're going to see, is the video that kind of shows you just how amazing Erik Tait is. He just really is. We haven't even talked about how strong the magic is and how he's taken a premise that everybody knows, 3-card Monty. The reason 3-card Monty routines are so popular is because it's something that everybody's aware of. And then he takes this premise and he turns it on its head completely. This is absolutely brilliant. This is required viewing for anybody who wants to take their magic to the next level. Not just card magic, but magic in general. Now, from there, we're going to go on to the next routine. I don't want to say anything about this. I'm going to tell you the name of it. Go and have a look at the performance, and then we'll talk about it. This is called the Cincinnati Kid.
A lot of people, when they see me do magic, the first thing out of their mouths is, oh, I'd never want to play cards with you. And I understand that, right? Because I do a lot of the gambling stuff, right? But a lot of people want to see the gambling stuff, but not actually do the gambling. And so I like that. So one of the things that magicians like to do to keep themselves sharp is to find the aces. Being able to find the aces out of a shuffled deck is a magician's holy grail. So finding the ace of diamonds like that is pretty great. Finding out one ace, though, that's pretty good. It's finding the other aces that's the problem, right? So like I could find the second ace just like that, the ace of clubs. Is pretty good. Me finding the aces, though, is one thing, right? What if I want to have my spectator find the aces? It's a lot of fun because what I can do is actually get it so that I can shuffle the aces so they're exactly where I think the spectator will cut. Do me a favor, go ahead and cut off a packet of cards. That would be great right there. That is the ace of hearts. Thank you very much. I'll find the last ace for you in sort of a fancy sort of triple cut fashion. We'll just go, it's 1, that's 2, that's 3 right there, and that is the ace of spades. 4 aces, down 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was as a magician, though, finding the aces is what I do. Gamblers, cheaters, they want to go above and beyond. They don't want to find the aces. They want to find a royal flush. That is, of course, for someone who plays poker. Not everyone plays poker. Some people prefer the game of blackjack. I like the game of blackjack myself. And if you've never played blackjack before, it's a lot of fun. The idea is that you and the dealer end up getting dealt 2 cards, and whoever gets closer to 21 without going over is the winner. So the first card is typically dealt face up. In this case, it is the 2 of hearts. The second card, though, this is the king of spades. The king of spades is worth 10, right? So they deal that face down so that you don't exactly know who's got the whole card or not. Not every casino deals like this. Some casinos, they deal both of the cards face down because they don't want the dealer giving you any sort of help and counting up for you, so you have to make the decision. But if you were a cheater, you wouldn't take 12 because that wouldn't do well. You want to get a blackjack. That's an ace and a jack. That is the best hand in blackjack right there. A lot of people think that a blackjack only works. You only get the blackjack if you have a blackjack and a black ace. But don't worry, it works if they're red too.
Now, if you want to learn the Cincinnati Kid, you can do so by going on Penguin Magic. It's a download that you can actually learn from Penguin Magic. Now, I'll tell you right now, I've never been a big fan of gambling routines. It's not something that's interested me because I don't gamble. I don't even know the rules for poker or blackjack or anything like that. I like doing 4-ace productions and stuff like that, but gambling routines do tend to kind of bore me a little bit. And when I first saw that Erik was putting a download out about gambling, I was like, okay, here we go again. I love Erik, but this isn't probably going to be my style. And then when I saw the Cincinnati Kid, I remember telling Nemid Phoenix, my friend Nemid Phoenix, I remember telling him at the time, that's the best gambling routine that I've ever seen. And one of the reasons it's such a great gambling routine is because you don't have to be a gambler to understand that what's happening here is impressive. The problem with a lot of people that put gambling routines together is they get really deep into it. Like, okay, let's do deal 5 hands of poker. Now, look, when you're dealing 5 hands of poker, blah, blah, blah. And there's a load of stuff, and there's a lot of dealing, and there's a lot of explaining, and multiple shuffles and things like that. This just gets straight to the point. I can cheat at cards. This is how I do it. And I love that the routine builds. You know, you've got the production of the 4 aces, but when you've got the production of the 4 aces at the beginning, notice that each ace builds. So on the 3rd ace, you've got the spectator cutting the ace. The final ace, you've got it doing in a flourishy way. It's really important when you're doing routines and you're doing the same thing 3 or 4 times over, you need to make a way of finding it so that each phase builds. Even though you're doing the same thing in essence every single time, what can you do to make each phase build? And because Erik is a born entertainer as well as a sleight of hand magician, he understands that, and you see this here. And then he then goes into the blackjack sequence. Now, most blackjack routines that I've seen are just so boring. It's kind of like, right, okay, let's deal these two. Now these two. Now we'll deal them again. Now we'll deal them again. Now we'll deal them again. It just gets really dull. Whilst with this, it's exactly the opposite. It's like, boom, I've got 2 cards. This is how I cheat. Oh, and by the way, I can get them red. And it's just like, it's almost like beating them up with magic. It's like, right, okay, it's finished. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. I remember the first time I saw the Cincinnati Kid, and I was like, hang on a minute, now they've turned red. There were so many moments that got me. This, for me, is the perfect gambling routine. Like I say, a lot of magicians that do gambling routines, unless you're being booked by a casino, if you're just doing it to lay people, a lot of gambling routines just get really, really boring. Whilst this is so interesting and visually appealing, even if you've got no interest in cards, this is a perfect example of showing skill, absolutely showing skill, but at the same time as showing skill, you're also, you're doing it in a very interesting and engaging way. So, with that in mind, we're going to move on now to probably the Erik Tait routine that I perform more than any other, which is out of the zip code.
Javier, do me a favor, and just as I go through, just memorize the order of the cards for me. Okay. Just go ahead and memorize the order of the entire deck. If you're having trouble memorizing the order of the deck, just remember the order of the colors, right? So we've got like some red cards and some black cards. So there's like 1 red, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 black cards, and then 2 red, and then 1 black, and then you're getting this, right? You're doing. Are you doing the whole thing?
Yeah. I'm remembering everything.
I just want you to remember everything. All right, you just let it wash all over yourself. So here's what we'll do: is just go ahead and say stop whenever you want.
Stop.
Fantastic. Red card.
Yep.
Do me a favor. I'm going to go slowly because I want to be fair. Touch the back of any card you might remember being red. Okay. And another one. And another one. And another one. And let's go one more.
That one.
Okay. I want to be super duper fair here, so I'm just going to take these out. Everything copacetic? Let's get, so you got a red card, let's get, here, we'll do a black card now. So now just touch the back of any card you might remember being black. Another one. Another one. Another one. And one more.
That one.
That one. Again, I just want to be as fair as possible.
You could not be more fair.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
Cool. So now this was how you remember the cards, but if I did this, that destroys the order you memorized. So now if I ask you just go ahead and touch a red card, anyone you want. Oh, that's good, right? But that was random, right? Because this right here, this isn't the order you memorized. You memorized during this order. Now that's good.
Nice.
And that's better. That's amazing. That's impossible.
Nice.
That's a miracle.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, so that was Out of This Zip Code, and there's videos of me performing this on YouTube somewhere. I love Out of This Zip Code. If I'm going to do a Out of This World, it's either going to be Pete Turner's version or it's going to be Erik Tait's version. And normally I lean, unless I'm using Evoke, normally I lean towards Erik Tait's version. What I love about Out of This Zip Code is that it takes everything that's wrong with Out of This World and just makes it better. So, you know, the problem with Out of This World, and again, I don't know if Erik does this on purpose. I think he does because he's incredibly entertaining. Like I say, he's got a background in stand-up comedy. He's very, very entertaining. I know he thinks an awful lot, not just about the magic, but how to make it interactive and how to make it entertaining. And one thing that you see, and you saw this in the gambling routine, the Cincinnati Kid, you see it again in Out of the Zip Code, is that he's streamlining everything down. He's looking for all of the moments in that traditional routine where things start to get boring, start to get dull, and he's bringing them right down. This is the perfect example. It's very, very fooling. I remember the first time I saw this, I was completely fooled. I had no idea how it was done. But as well as being completely fooling, it's really strong because you're giving them a free choice of any card. The problem with the problem with the traditional Out of This World is it's kind of like, once they understand the premise, it's like, right, okay, I've got to keep doing this all the way through to the end, do I? Right, okay, here we go. Well, with this, you know, they're just taking certain cards, but because you're spreading out and you're having them touch the cards, it's taking place an awful lot quicker, which is really important. You know, I like I say, a lot of Out of This Worlds are really boring. I also like the premise. I love the whole idea of, hey, do me a favor, try to remember the cards. If you can't remember the cards, just remember the color of the cards. That's really important. Can you try and remember the color of the cards? And I love that the premise behind the routine then changes immediately. It becomes less of a, well, you psychically sorted them out, to, oh my God, you've got this incredible memory that you didn't even realize you were going to have. And I love that presentational hook really allows you to do the move right in front of people's eyes and not see anything. I also love the fact that the way that this is structured is when the cards are put down on the table, there's nothing to find. Nothing to find at all. The cards put down on the table, you're done. You're done. You know, a lot of Out of This World have that switch that you have to do at the end, which always takes place at just the wrong time. You know, like, I mean, kudos to Paul Curry for coming up with the original concept, but I really do think with a lot of versions of Out of This World, especially Paul's original version, it's done at the wrong time. You know, just when the focus should be on what's happening, that's when the switch takes place. But with Out of This Zip Code, that's not the case at all. When you get to the point where the cards are getting turned over, you're finished, you're done, there's nothing to find, and everything's examinable. I love the fact of regular deck. So it's not just that he's approached it and streamlined it and made it more entertaining, but it's also the thinking behind the routine as well. And it's like how to actually eliminate all of these problematic areas and make it so it's a super solid commercial routine that will work in a real world environment. Now, talking about routines that will work in a real-world environment, the next routine I want to show you, which is another example of the genius that is Erik Tait, is Boxed and Loaded. Now, if you haven't seen Boxed and Loaded, just like with the Cincinnati Kid, just like with Out of the Zip Code, Boxed and Loaded is available as a download off Penguin Magic if you like it. I've been doing Boxed and Loaded for a long time. Boxed and Loaded, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you look at the tutorial, not the tutorial. I'm just going to let you look at the performance. Let's have a look at Boxed and
Here's what
Loaded.
we're going to do. Go ahead and shuffle the cards. Go ahead and shuffle them. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. So I'm doing this because I want to get a sense of you. I want to get a sense of you. That's perfect. Do me a favor. You shuffle the cards.
I can't.
I know exactly everything about you. I know everything I need to know at this point. So actually I can do this. Yeah, it's this one. It's definitely this one. We're gonna put that right there, and we'll point to a card. That one. Okay, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna put it right there. Go ahead and point to a card. That one. Excellent. We're gonna put it right there. you each picked a card, and I put a card in the deck at the very beginning. And your card is right here on the left. I want you to remember it. And your card is right here on the right. I'd like you to remember it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to lose both of them into the deck, just like this. We'll give it a quick shuffle, just like that. All right, it's done. I put a card in the box in the very beginning. You picked a card. You're remembering it. You picked a card. You're remembering it. We lost him in the deck. I want you to look each other in the eyes. And I'm going to count to 3. On the count of 3, I want you to say the card that you're thinking of at the exact same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
8 of diamonds.
You looked at different cards though, right? Yeah. That's impossible. Because remember, I picked one card and I put one card in this box in the very beginning. That card that I put in the box is the 8 of diamonds.
That is such an engaging routine. I love, look at the reaction to the people that are watching this. The reaction is so strong. It really is so strong. Because you set this premise up and you've made them believe that something is happening. And then when they both name the card and it's the same card, everything gets turned around on its head. It's like, what? It's a little bit like Sixth Sense. You know, it's a little bit like one of those films where everything changes at the end. They think they know what's happening. And just when they think they understand the questions, or just when they think they understand what's going to happen, you're changing the questions, right? I love that. I really do. And logically, it has so many presentational applications, talking to a bride and groom or a man and a woman or, a husband and wife about, a psychic connection between them. There's so many different ways that you can go with this. There really is. It can be a pseudo-hypnosis type presentation. So many different things that you can do. And the nice thing is, it's really not difficult at all. Also, I want to go back again and have a look at the performance of this and see again how Erik interacts with his spectators. And if there's one thing at all that you can learn from this video, it's that it's as important to think through your presentation. It's as important to think through what you say and how you engage with spectators. Think about those points in the routine, because I haven't spoken to Erik about this. I might be completely wrong, but I know, I don't think I am when I say that he's thought through, right, what can I say there? What can I do here? What's a good moment? What's a good time to fill this with? What am I going to do at this point? Everything. Erik is he's like a super villain. He's like a super villain in that he has contingency plans for contingency plans for contingency plans. He thought everything out to the nth degree. And you see that here as well. I also love that the moment where the two of them are actually looking at each other and they're, kind of naming their cards and everybody is focused on that moment, that's when the move gets done. And again, you're going to see that over and over again in these videos. The move takes place on the offbeat. Now, Guy Hollingsworth talked about this, the offbeat and the onbeat. The offbeat is when the audience is relaxed. That's when you should do a move. You don't do a move when they're looking at your hands. You do it when they're not really focused. Erik Tait is a master of that, and you can see that in all of these videos. But if you want a really solid commercial routine, then get Boxed and Loaded. Now, the final routine we're going to look at of Erik's is called Ultra Lucky Coin. It's one of his most popular tricks, and I couldn't really have done this video without including Ultra Lucky Coin. So let's have a look at that one right now.
We'll do a bet, you and I. This is a bet. We're going to play a bet.
I don't have any money.
No, it's okay. We'll do this. We'll do this with this black chip right here. And do me a favor. Go ahead and just say stop whenever you want.
Stop.
Excellent. Go ahead and take a look at that card. Don't let me see it. Maybe show it a couple of other people. And then when you're happy, what I want you to do is I'm going to dribble the cards, and I want you to put your card back in the deck.
Okay.
When I tell you to.
No.
I'm just messing with you. You can shove it in anywhere. That's okay. Do you want to shuffle the deck?
Sure.
Cool. Go ahead. Go ahead and shuffle the pack.
I'm so not
Oh, it's perfect.
good at this. I'm also kind of drunk, so I apologize.
It's so good.
I was like, you can, I can. I got you.
Girl, you might have to.
That's professional level shuffling right there. I like it. So here's what we'll do. This is the bet, right? What you have to do is I want you to pick up this chip by the edges and I want you to place it somewhere on the spread. Don't drop it because this is a bet. Because the deal is at the end of this trick, if your card isn't underneath this chip, then you get to keep it, right? And this is a black chip. It's worth $100. So if you can find the Marinero Game Room and Casino, you could come out $100 richer. So I want you to pick it up by the edges and place it somewhere on the spread, anywhere you want. Right there. So I would say that this card is underneath it, but this card is not. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna slide these away. And then I would say that this card is underneath it, but this card is not. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Excellent. Let's get real specific now. And what I want you to do is place it on one of the chips. Or one of the cards, rather. Okay, so not here, and not here, right? Remember the bet. At the end of this trick, if your card isn't underneath the chip, then you get to keep it, right?
Yeah.
And underneath the chip, your card. You see how it says your card? That's like a long way to go for a terrible joke, isn't it? Out of curiosity, what was your card?
Wasn't it 3 of clubs?
3 diamonds.
3 diamonds.
3 diamonds? Are you even remotely curious as to what that card is?
I am.
Go ahead, turn it over.
3 diamonds.
Now hang on. Fuzzy, right?
Yes.
Fuzzy. The bet was, at the end of this trick, if your card was not underneath the chip, then you could keep it, right? And here's the deal. This is the end of the trick, and the card is here, and the chip is here. So you could argue that you would have won, right? Because your card is not underneath the chip.
Yes.
That's why I don't gamble.
Ah, she's gone. And she's gone.
Okay, I'm done. What the heck? How did you do that? Is it like a sticker? It's not a sticker.
So that was Ultra Lucky Coin. That's the only physical product in the whole of this these 5 videos. Everything else is downloads or Erik's FISM Act. And I reviewed Ultra Lucky Coin a couple of years ago. I bought Ultra Lucky Coin years and years and years ago before I even knew Erik Tait. And I fell in love with it right at the very beginning. I really did. Before I even knew him, I love this routine. There's a few reasons I love it. The first reason I love it is because it's empowering to the spectator. You know, I love the hook line. I've talked on this channel over and over again about hook lines, what you say to grab the audience's attention. Well, this is a perfect example. You know, what's the hook to this? Well, the hook is that, hey, I'm going to, I've got this lucky coin. It's going to make you super lucky. Do you want to try it out? You do? Okay, no problem. It's a little poker chip. I love that. Really do. I absolutely love that. I also love the fact that it feels so fair. You literally doesn't look like you're doing anything. They're making all of the choices, and yet the outcome is going to be correct. I also love the fact that the move, and we've discussed this before, and you'll see it again and again and again in Erik's videos, the move takes place at just the moment when nobody is focusing on what you're doing. Nobody at all is focusing on what you're doing, and that's when the move takes place. Now, it's not a difficult move to do at all. Anybody who knows Ultra Lucky Coin will tell you it's not a difficult move to do at all, but I love the fact that he's thought through, right, this move is going to take place here. This is on the offbeat. This is great. No one's going to pay attention. And then the other thing that I really like is, once again, he's got that kicker. Just when you think it's all over. It's a little bit like, you see it over and over again. So in the Cincinnati Kid, you think the trick's over. He's changed the cards into a blackjack hand. And then, what? Hang on a second. Now they're a red blackjack hand. Boxed and loaded. Oh, the trick is that they've both picked the same card. Yeah, but now it's in the box. What? You know, you see this over and over again in Erik's work. Well, you see it again in Ultra Lucky Coin. They've found their own card. That is one of the strongest effects in Magic that you can do. When you can empower the spectator to find their own card or do the magic themselves, it's very, very powerful. But just when that happens, you kick them in the teeth, and now they look back at that chip that they've been using all the way through, and now their card is printed on there. My God, forget about it. End of, right at that moment. You know, sometimes when we sometimes when we layer effects and we have multiple revelations, it's the same variation of the same revelation. So it's like, okay, this has happened, but I also predicted it here. I also predicted it here. I also predicted it here. It's the same revelation done 4 or 5 times. And that works in certain places, in certain ways, it can work. But this is a perfect example of, you've got this revelation, but then you've got a completely different revelation that shows that you knew the thing the whole time. Just really ridiculously strong. Honestly, it really is. And I love the fact that there's so many options in terms of how you can do it in the spectator's hand, on the table, as a misdirection thing. It's really good. So yeah, I absolutely love Ultra Lucky Coin. Now, before we wrap this whole thing up, I will say that one thing to note is that all of these routines were card tricks. Think about that for a minute. Boxed and Loaded, Out of the Zip Code, his FISM Act, Cincinnati Kid, Ultra Lucky Coin, all of them are card tricks. Now, I see people posting on Facebook every day saying card tricks are boring. And you know what? Card tricks can be boring. Card tricks can be boring, but they're only boring if you let them be boring. If you're going to put a boring routine together, if you're going to do a ton of dealing with no reason for doing it at all, if you're going to have very long exposition behind routines, yeah, it's going to be boring. But if you layer your routines in a way that they're not boring and something's constantly happening, if you focus on the presentations and you make them engaging and you make them interesting, and you think about when you're actually going to interact with those spectators, and you think about the highs and the lows of an audience watching the show, then it's not going to be boring. Erik Tait is one of the top performers in the world, not just in America. He is one of the top performers in the world, and he has got to that point by doing a metric ton of card tricks and doing them exceptionally well and doing moves that other magicians can't do. And this is a perfect example. So next time someone turns around to you, including me, and says card tricks are boring, all you have to do is turn around to them and say, Erik Tait, and they've got nowhere to go. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me. Let me know what you think of Erik Tait in the comments down below. Let's get some Erik Tait love in the comments down below. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget that a lot of these videos that you can learn, you can go onto Penguin Magic, just type in Erik Tait, and there's a ton of stuff on there. I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. I'm back with a mat test tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing a full expose of my new penguin trick, Level Up. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. I will see you again soon. Don't forget to join the Netrix if you haven't already done so. It's www.thenetrix.com. That's www.thenetrix.com. Go check it out, see what all fuss is about. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.